the dynamic of two parents and their kids, mum, dad, and the kids together. Every child knows that makes family, but what about the other? What about foster parents or single parents? What about blended families or children living with grandparents? What about the children with same-sex parents, adopted children, or children living with adult siblings or other type of kinship care? Hi, my name is Kristyl Pike, and this presentation is for Assignment 2 of EDC1200 in Society. The topic I have chosen is the difference in family dynamics in schooling systems and the effect it has on our children. The article selected is based on foster children. I will be touching on all, but mainly the ones mentioned previously. In your opinion, when asked this question, a daddy and their children. This is correct, but it is also what we call the social norm. If a child's family doesn't fit into the norm, they begin to wonder if they belong to a real family or not. But how do you respond to that? How do you explain to a child that as long as there is love, there is a family when people look around and all they see is love? Teaching children tolerance and acceptance of the other is a good starting point. Classrooms are becoming diverse, reflecting the communities where families live and work. Kids interact with people of different ethnicities, cultures, and religions. Difference in family structures can sometimes render a child unable to complete class tasks. A foster child may not be able to bring in or may not be able to draw their family tree. This can cause children to feel singled out or upset to be different. Children with single parents, living with grandparents, or in kinship care may not be able to afford the latest gadgets, new uniforms, or new shoes every year. Some children may not have a mother, have two mothers or two fathers, and unless acceptance and tolerance are taught, problems are caused. Lack of understanding causes problems with bullying, and lack of acceptance in the classroom and playground. It can be part of the reason for depression in children and more. If it is explained that difference is okay, that not belonging to the norm is okay, children will slowly begin to understand that because he or she is different doesn't mean exclusion is needed. In a classroom setting, I would start off by holding a class discussion between myself and the students. To make things easier, we would sit in a circle on the carpet. I would ask them questions such as, what are the different types of family? What is a family? Who is part of a family? What can a family do together? And how do you know exactly what a family is? Once we've gone round and discussed these questions together, I would then further explain the numerous types of family there can be. The purpose of this part of the lesson would be to help kids grasp the concept of the different types of family there are. Activity 1 would involve me showing the students different excerpts of different movies, such as The Lion King, Lilo and Stitch, Ice Age, Happy Feet, Finding Nemo, and Chestnut, because these Disney movies all show different family dynamics. Between each, write down what sort of family is being shown. Lilo and Stitch is an example of kinship care. Lion King and Happy Feet are extended family living together. Finding Nemo is, of course, a single dad raising his son on his own. Ice Age is somewhat of a foster family all put together because they've got nowhere else to go. And Chestnut shows adopted families. Activity 2 would involve the student taking a picture of their family and labelling each member. On the back, I'd get them to write who is in their family and a short story of something they did together. The students that feel comfortable then the purpose of this would be that students are able to see that they aren't the only ones with a different type of family. They'd also see that just because their family looks different doesn't mean that they love each other any less or that they don't do the same things the norm does. When I asked this activity in a proper classroom setting, there were 3 students that stood out. Lauren from grade 2 drew a picture of her current family. She told me that she has had quite a few families and homes. Lauren doesn't live with her biological brothers and sisters, but lives with her 2 foster brothers, Tyron and Thomas, and baby Cindy, her foster sister. Lucy is her foster mum and has been for the last 4.5 years. Lauren told me her classmates know that she doesn't have a real family anymore. I told her that wasn't true. I read Lauren's story out to the class and asked if anyone else helped parents or caregivers cook dinner or helped feed baby brothers or sisters. Their hand. Lauren looked at me and smiled, knowing that she did the normal things with her family, even though they're different. Twins Alexis and Kate from grade 2 also only live with their dad. They told me stories playing games in the park and switching clothes and they have lots of fun together, even though it's only the 3 of them. And number 3, Shaylee, who's in grade 4, has 2 dads. She told me that her mother died when she was around 2, and she was adopted by her uncle, who is her mother's brother, and his partner. She's been raised by them ever since and is quite happy to be involved in that family. To wrap up our lesson, I would ask the kids, again in a group discussion, what I need to start, just to reiterate what they've learnt. I'd ask, what's a family? A family is people who live and love. They can be related by blood but don't have to be, would be an acceptable answer. Another question would be, does everyone have the same type of family? And the answer would obviously be no, not everyone is the same. The question at the end would be, if someone has a different family to you, does that mean one is better than the other? The answer I would be looking for would be no, it just means they have different people that look after them, but they still do the same things that we do as a family. If the students were answering questions similar to this, I would then know that they fully understood what the lesson was about.